Hey friends, let's take our home decor and DIYs to a whole nother level using these adorable vintage floral bunnies from Essential Stencil. Hey guys, my name is Tracy. I love to share crafty ideas with a bit of rustic country charm. I'm so glad that you're here and let's get started. This project is using the large bunny portraits, the female of with the little flowers in her hair, just so cute. Now, the base of my project is using this wood arch from Michaels. It measures 11.25 by 18 inches. They also have a smaller one, but at that time, I could only get the larger one. All right, so then for the gray paint, that is Manatee Gray. That is by Dixie Belle. I painted the back as well as the sides. Then added some soft pink. That is the color of pink that I'm using for the inside. Doing the crackle method by just adding some school glue. And then for the top coat, I'm using drop cloth. So just a reminder, when I crackle, the bottom that I want to show through, that is going to be the bottom layer. Then I put a layer of school glue on, let that dry to a tacky consistency. And then the top coat that I want for the crackles to show through, then that is what I'm going to be putting on top. I use my heat gun just to kind of speed it up a bit so that those crackles start to form on my project. Then I just added some shading with different colors, like I like black and then chocolate brown, and do just some design using my thin liner brush, just with just with some gray acrylic paint that I have, and then just making this look really cute. And then we'll go ahead and adhere the rub-on transfer, which is the bunny portrait, the girl bunny, for this large layered arch sign. Before I start adding my detail work, I'm going to go ahead and sand the edges of the arch, just exposing a little bit of the wood. And then also I did use my fan brush and added some of that soft pink just to give a little bit more of the detail. The beautiful bunny portrait is from Essential Stencil, and this particular set came to the girl and the boy bunny. I'm using the girl for this project, so I just cut it in half and then remove it from the backing. I kind of what works for me is I kind of figure out the middle and then kind of like adhere it just down in the middle, and until I get committed for it, then I just use my like spatula tools. I have my big Cricut spatula, then I transfer to my smaller one just to kind of burnish or just kind of adhere it all on there. The plastic, the outer cover, you can kind of see, and I kind of pull it back and see how it attaches to or pulls off. I find that cutting some of that plastic sheet off, as I go along, so that I don't have so much bulk for that. So I just slowly keep doing that until it all adheres off of that plastic covering, that top covering. Then once it all gets on there, then I'll take that sheet and then kind of rub over it. It's kind of called burnishing. It kind of like adds just that finishing touch for this rub on transfer that looks so high end, and it just is absolutely adorable. For a little bit of depth and dimension, I like to add some dark wax to the edges of my rub-on transfers. I think that it just really adds just that extra, like I said, that extra depth, and just really kind of makes it look a little bit more hand painted. The dark wax is something that I got off of Amazon, and I'm just using a small brush just to adhere that on there, rubbing it with my finger just to spread it out and smooth it out. Now, for just kick it up a notch, I'm using my Stickles in Icicle and just going around parts of the bunny. And I just think that it just adds a little bit more pizzazz. It just really enhances the flowers, and then just, again, different areas of the bunny that I want to highlight. So then I'm just taking my little detailing brush, just going around and adding some squiggles to the frame. And this cute decor piece is just turning out adorable. I'm just so happy with it. For the scripture wording, I just designed it in Cricut Design Space and cut it out on my Cricut Joy on permanent vinyl. So then, to give it just a little bit more detail, I'm adding some adhesive spray and just some glitter over the front of the piece. Then for a bow, I'm just using some different fabrics, trims, some cheesecloth, just some, different laces, all of the stuff that I love to do. It's all about layering when you make a bow. I am using my little Bowdabra here, and you can get that at any craft store, or they do sell them on Amazon. I also add some of that Sisal grass to it just to add a little bit of a whimsical touch to it. And again, just continuing to add layers of ribbon and fabric and lace and stuff. And I get my fabric, this gray and white ticking fabric came from JubileeFabric.com. That is somewhere that I found online that has really good prices, and they have so many patterns and selections. All right, to add the curly cues of the floral wire, this is a tan floral wire that I got off of Amazon, and I'm just cutting pieces of that, making a bow for the center. I just use a glue stick just to curl them up on the end so that they look so whimsical and cute. And then, since this is actual wire, I'm just attaching it all together and then putting it in the middle, and then that will be the center of at the top of my decor piece. The floral, these little pink flowers came from Hobby Lobby. I'm just stapling a couple of those stems to the top, and then I'll be adding my bow there to the top. For the center of my bunny, I just added a little bit more Excelsior, and then added just a fun flower to the center to complete my decor project. And I just am absolutely in love with all of these rub-on transfers, and that I can just take my hand painting and my decor to another level. Friends, if you're not familiar with Essential Stencil, check out their website to see what rub-on transfers they have available at the time of your visit. Use my affiliate code that's listed in the description box, as well as my discount code for extra savings at checkout. Here is how I used the Essential Stencils Vintage Floral Bunnies rub-on transfers using a few of the vintage style of frames from the Dollar Tree. They're the gold frames. They come in oval and they come in rectangle, and they're 5x7 size. I was fortunate to find a few of these, so love using these for my little rub-on transfers. Now, guys, to paint them, what I used is Boss Bond in white. Now, this is formerly known as Slick Stick. It is kind of a bonding agent, and I am fairly new as the time of this video to Dixie Belle paints. I've been using them for several months and absolutely love them. And so a sweet friend and follower had shared that this kind of adds as a protectant barrier, and it kind of helps with getting the paint to stick. And so since these frames are plastic, I'm going to go ahead and try this. And so I'm just painting all 4 frames with a layer of the Boss Bond. And so then for my actual paint, now for one of them, I'm using Vintage Duck Egg. And then the others, for the pink, I'm using Soft Pink, and those are by Dixie Belle. Now, I've had a couple of questions, and a few friends have reached out to say, where do you buy Dixie Belle paint? You have to find a retailer. You can go on the website of Dixie Belle Paint, research it. But you have to find a retailer, either a local retailer, or you can find someone online that, does offer Dixie Belle paint so that you can purchase it for yourself. For the wax, I'm using the white wax, also by Dixie Belle, and I just put that on there. The directions say to let it sit for 20 minutes, but I think that's if you're like flipping furniture or, painting a big piece or something like that. You really want to, put that white on there. I'm just doing a little craft projects here. I let it sit for about 5 minutes. Then I just took a baby wipe and just wiped off the most of it. I wanted the white look without it being so dark. And so again, I'm fairly new to using the Dixie Belle products, and I'm loving it so far. But of course, I am not an expert, and I do try to pass along some of the tips and tricks that I have learned that have worked for myself. And of course, I always welcome any of my friends and followers, my viewers that have a little bit more experience, to pass along any tips or tricks with me, because I do appreciate it. Now, once I got the majority of that white wax off that I wanted, then I wanted to highlight just the edges or the insides of the frame. So I pulled out my Kilz wax, my dark wax, and just used my finger just to go around the edges of the inside as well as the edges of the outside. I just wanted it to kind of pop a little bit, and I use a baby wipe to wet my finger just to add the wax on there. If I get a little too dark, I just buff it out with that baby wipe, and it really just enhances my projects the way that I like. Okay, so then for my scrapbook paper, I'm using this paper from this paper pad that I've had on hand. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I absolutely love it. It's packed with so much distress paper in it, and so just wanted to kind of share what paper pad I'm using. Maybe you have it on hand. If not, maybe you can find something similar to it if it's something that you like. And to attach the paper to the board are the backing of my frame. And now these are the insides of the frames that came in those gold frames from the Dollar Tree. I just am using the Mod Podge heat transfer method by adding a bit of Mod Podge to the backer sheet, and then use my little Cricut mini press just to add that to the backing of those frames. I use my, like I said, my little Cricut mini heat press, and iron works as well. Use some parchment paper just to kind of add as a buffer so that it doesn't stick or anything like that. And then that attaches the paper to the backing of whatever I'm putting it on. All right, so then for the vintage floral bunnies, now guys, again, these transfers came from Essential Stencils. I am a brand ambassador for Essential Stencils, and what kind of attracted me to this company is the beautiful prints. Now, there have been around for many, many years. There have been many friends that have, told me that they have used Essential Stencils for many years, but they're really new to me. And so I'm loving all of these different designs. I do love to paint, but I love the flexibility and the vibrant colors of all of these beautiful designs. Now, they have different collections that come out throughout the year, and I am just sharing how I use them for this particular project. But the Essential Stencil always comes out with so many different ideas and different designs for different seasons, holidays, that kind of thing. So this is just for Easter or spring right here. If these are no longer available, they will have something equally or even more beautiful. And so that is what is so amazing about using rub-on transfers. You can create your own home decor or items for gifts, for craft sales, for gift shops, for something like that, or just to, take to a friend that's hurting or to give to someone special. This is just ideas that I wanted to share of how I use these rub-on transfers and the Dollar Tree frames to create these cute little home decor, just little shelf sitters and just little gifts. And then I like just a little bit of shadow around my images. So I take my Kilz dark wax and just go around with a little brush, just rubbing it in with my finger. Then to add a little bit of pizzazz, I'm using my Stickles glitter glue. This is Icicle, and I was getting really low in this time of this project. And so I had to kind of stick just a toothpick in the kind of the whole of it so that I could get more, because sometimes it kind of clumps up a little bit. So there's a little tip for you that works for me. And so I let that completely dry. And then just to kind of seal the frame a bit, I'm just using the Dixie Belle clear coat just to kind of seal everything in together. I like the glossy look, but they also have a matte and maybe a satin as well. So then to add a little bit more pizzazz, I'm just using my adhesive spray and some glitter from Hobby Lobby, just sprinkling that on there. For the bows, I'm using different laces, trims, some fabric, some of that sisal grass or sisal grass, and just adding a little bit of extra things to that. I'm also going to be putting on a little tag and just making everything look really nice. I added some of the Sari silk ribbon that I got on Amazon. You can find that in my Amazon storefront. I secured everything with my stick fast as well as some hot glue. Just use my clamp to hold that down while it dries. Again, all those little tips and tricks that help us in our creating process. And so for the little, like I said, the little Sari silk here, I'm just using my Bowdabra just to just design everything. It just kind of helps everything hold together and make everything look really nice. For the small craft tags, I use these from the Dollar Tree. And then for the Happy Easter lettering, I use my clickable stamps that I got from Michael's. You can put different letters and phrases together. I just stamped on the tags. And then for the spring, I just hand lettered spring using my happy dots and all of my little doodles and whimsical touches. For the floral wire, the curly cues, I just use some floral wire that I got from Amazon. I do have it all in my Amazon storefront. I do get questions about that, and I just curled it up really cute to make so many little whimsical touches for these cute little vintage floral bunny frames.